Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 8 of Road to Hagdom, where we're going to be talking all about our biases. If you been following our live streams, don't forget tomorrow also we have Kingdom Debrief at 9 a.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern Saturday night, or 9 a.m. if you're in Australia. And after that at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. we have Imitation Debrief as well. Anyway, here's the crew for today. We have Sui from Utah, Trish from Florida, Brooke from Ohio, Mike from Chicago, Amanda from somewhere in Canada, Mira from Massachusetts, did I say that correct? Sammy from Sydney, and Toya from Virginia. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Hello.
Today we are going to be talking all about biases, and we got no guests this week, which is the first time we've had no guests. This is actually the pure team of hags. Pure hags.
Pure.
Look, before we get into the topic of the day, what's everyone excited about in K-pop this week? I know there's a few things. We've had Enhypen, Fever. Anyone see that? I haven't even watched it yet.
I love Fever.
Yeah, that was awesome.
BTS I must be the only person in the planet that's not even seen Butter yet. We had Everglow, who Mike doesn't like because he's tasteless. And
I haven't seen it either.
Okay. And Hayes dropped something as well. I have not watched any because I'm tired and lazy. So anyone catch any of those? Any thoughts on those comebacks this week? What was your favourite?
Well, a couple you didn't mention were Gaho's Rush Hour, and then Mingyu and Wanwoo from 17 had a special track out today.
I just added that to my reaction list for the mythical reactions.
I love Rush Hour.
Yes.
It's so good.
Agreed.
The video's cool too.
Yeah.
And Everglow last week.
And Everglow kicked me in the face. Kicked me in the face. Straight kicked me in the face.
I'm dying to watch that. I'm dying.
Oh my! It is perfection. It is girl groups doing dark very well.
We'll do a reaction marathon and catch up. All right.
I'm still stuck on advice.
Yeah.
I'm Monster X teasers too.
Monster X teasers, right?
A Monster X.
Yeah, we've got Monster X coming up. And
hello, Lay. Lay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lay. Lay.
Did we talk about Taemin already, or
we talked to
last
week?
Last week.
Yeah,
that was last week.
Yeah. It was like, woo. I mean, what more can you say about Taemin? All right, look, we got no guests this week to talk to, so we're going to get straight into Okay, look, now I know this is a contentious issue, right? We know now some people don't believe in ultimate biases. Some do, some don't have biases. So before we get into the individual bias situation, as a group, what do you think, what defines a bias and what defines an alt? And do you believe in either? Let's go.
I have a very simple definition.
Yeah.
Should I go for it?
Yeah.
A bias is your favorite member in a group, or the person that your eyes just go to automatically and watch. And an alt is your favorite of your bias list.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite of your favorite.
Your favorite of your favorite.
All of K-pop.
It's just
you're top of the heap.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes we make it really complicated, but that's the simple definition.
But it is complicated in my brain.
I don't have a favorite of favorites. I don't believe in that. No.
It's like your MySpace top 8, but with K-pop.
MySpace reference. I love it.
Wow,
my mood changes. Like, I love people individually.
That's what it's like.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So why don't you believe? Sorry, you don't have alts, Mike?
I do not have alts. I don't believe in it because I love everybody equally, and as the mood hits me, I
don't buy that. I call BS.
As the mood hits me, it comes and goes in waves. Like, I'll have a Lee Teuk day, and a Jaehyun day, a Lido day,
you do. I've noticed on Twitter you do have days where you.
Yes, I do.
It's all about someone. Well, okay, let's just get straight into it then. Let's get straight into it. So I did ask you this series of questions earlier, but I'll just for the viewers. So we're going to talk about: do you have an alt? If so, how many and why are they your alts? Can you have more than one bias in a group?
Yes.
And how do you choose your biases? Do you choose different biases for different reasons? I know I do. I have some.
Right.
I can't actually talk about it because it's a bit rude. But I have, my head bias, my heart bias, my titty bias, that kind of thing. And is there a particular quality in someone that makes you the bias at first sight? Like, bias straight away, even though you don't know them. Also, if you bias someone in a group as your first bias, and then you like someone else, do you dump them or do you just add them to your list?
Absolutely.
Let's start with Sui.
No.
Polygamy is a thing.
Yes, that is.
Sui?
What? Is it my turn already? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm first?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I get to answer all those questions, am I right?
Yes.
I can remind you.
A lot of questions.
So no, I have my paper.
We're pre-prepared, remember.
Alt biases, yes. I have some favorites of my favorites, okay? And I don't really know how to count them. So when you say how many, I can't, I have to think, so who do I consider an alt bias? So, but when I thought about this, I came up with maybe six or seven, and then maybe 2 or 3 that are on their way to becoming alts. I tend to hype them up a lot. So I'm they must be alts if I'm really, getting excited about them all the time whenever they post or whatever.
And so these are your alts as it stands, right?
Yes. And you asked one of the questions was, why are they alts? And it's because these guys are from my alt groups, I guess. My favorite groups, the groups that I've spent the money on, the groups that I have known the longest. So that's kind of, and you notice there's 2 ATs guys in there. That's because seriously, they are co-biases for me. And Yosong was first. We were talking about if you have a bias first and then somebody else comes along, do you kick your other one out? Yosong was first, but then Sunghwa came along and said, no, I need to be part of this. And so they are co-biases. And I have that a lot. I call them co-biases. Yes. And I used to.
So you don't rank them within a group? They're just
they're
one's your
No, there's several groups where I seriously have 2 biases, I guess. But I put Han up there as an alt bias, but I feel like he's co-biased with Bing Chan in Stray Kids because I love him too. But yeah. So I was gonna say, I just lost my train of thought.
How do you choose your biases? How do I choose them? So you asked about if something sticks out, and you're okay, that's my bias. I tend to go for quiet guys. So if I'm watching what I call personality video, where they're all talking or it's a vlog or whatever, and if there's somebody who is not seeking the limelight, who's not really loud, who's not in your face, and they're sitting to the side and they're really quiet, I instantly zero in on them. And that's how several of my biases became biases, because I'm I like those quiet guys. So, but that's not to say that I don't tend to bias the noisy guys too, because I have several noisy guys on my list. Make up your mind.
Noisy. Well, and a better word would be really friendly or outgoing or charismatic biases. They tend to be on the list too. So, yeah. But it seems like there's always 3 things. So it's personality, their voice, the vocals, or dance, and then visuals, of course. And so if it's a brand new group and you're just looking, you're I was going to say this, I find it to be a fun game to bias somebody, but at the same time, I don't take this seriously at all. It's just a game, right? Yeah. But I think some people take it really seriously. But
then we all have our favorites. You can't deny that. You can't.
Yeah. Right. But if you're looking at a brand new group, I think visuals pop out first, right? That's you zero in on whoever you're attracted to at first, but then you start looking at the personalities, and then it either confirms that, or then you're oh, this person's personality is really cool to me or whatever, and then so that's bias discovery phase, I guess. So, and I go through all kinds of phases along those lines, but yeah, what was I going to say that I forgot?
I want to say back up there. Picture here of these guys are almost alts. Why aren't they your alts?
So these guys, okay, so Ye is up in the corner there, and he's from Black Six that just disbanded, and I am so devastated by that because he was posting all the time. He's like the most positive, upbeat person, and I would consider him an alt bias just because I love how his personality is. So even though he's not around anymore and he pretty much dropped off, he's completely, he's not posting anywhere. Some of his members are posting on Instagram, but not him. And then those other two, Wanyuk from Elast and Dongjun from,
I think he's not from
Ghost 9. Those guys are just so much fun, and so I'm hyping them up all the time. So I'm like, I guess I could call them old biases now. I don't know. They're still such new groups, you know. So like I said, usually they're groups. The old biases are from groups that I feel like I've been with a long time. So these guys are still kind of newish, but I'm tending to hype them up all the time. So I think I can consider them that. But yeah, there's some groups where I feel like I bias half the group and then the other half are wreckers. Do you guys feel that way sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's like Treasures that way, and SF9 and Pentagon. Oh, what's that one group called? On and Off. I want to say ONF.
On and Off.
On and Off.
On and off.
TO1. Anyway, those groups, I really like Mike says, I love them all. It's really hard to say that you bias one or the other because they're just all awesome. So anyway, what else? What were some of the other questions? Did I hit on all of it yet?
Bias the first time I've done that. So do you keep your first bias? So you just add them on. We know you just add them, don't you?
I add them on.
You never get rid of one.
I was trying to think. I don't.
You're a hoarder. You're a hoarder.
You're a hoarder.
Yeah, there's no way. I feel too much loyalty towards that first person. So
that's right. They're always special, aren't they?
Yeah. So, and I was going to say another thing I wanted to mention was I try to not bias the one that I think everyone else in the world is going to bias. So sometimes I try to fight against it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you're one of those.
I want to go for the one that maybe is the underdog bias or whatever.
Nobody pays attention to you, member.
Yeah, sometimes that backfires, and the one that's sometimes I can't fight against it. That's what Wanyuk that was just up there from Elast. I knew everybody was going to love him, so I'm like, no, he's not going to be my bias. But then there was no way.
You can't fight it sometimes.
Yeah, I can't fight it. And also, I tend to want to not bias the same person that my daughter biases, or that Meg's biases. Is Meg's in the chat? So, like, I don't want to fight over biases with my sister or my daughter.
Look, sorry, you can't.
What say?
Alex and I have so many biases that are the same because we got the same taste. So you can share. It's okay. Yeah.
Sometimes
you
it
have
happens.
Too many rules, Suey.
No, that's not really a rule. It's just like if Tori says that somebody's her bias, then I'm like, oh, he is really cute, but I'm going to go for this other guy. So yeah. Anyway, but we do share some.
Denying the flesh.
Sharing is caring.
Anyway, did you want like examples of some of my biases? I didn't mention.
Tell us who some of tell us who your biases are in your alt groups.
So
who are your top? I mean, they're not alts, but we've seen your alts. But who are some of your biases? Let's see.
Well, I was
see what sort of taste you have.
I did mention Quiet Boy, so that's why I bias Leo and Yosong, Dongjun from Ghost 9. We already talked about Ito from One Us. Kanghyun from One We, he's really quiet. Sungyup from Elast is also really quiet. Chihoon from TO1, and then Teo from Hue and Harmony is quiet. And so anyway, those are. Thank you. then I love the power vocals like Hyojin from On and Off, and DK from 17, and Yesung from Super Junior, and Onu from Shiny, and Huesung from N Flying, so Younghoon from One We. Those are all, I love them because of their vocals, right?
Yeah.
And then visuals, Subin from Victon. And
Subin!
I knew Mike would like that.
Taste!
Victon is another group where it's like half bias, half records, right?
Yeah.
But Subin jumped out at me for vocals, and Mujin from Kingdom. Do you guys know Kingdom yet? I know Trish probably does.
Yes.
Mujin from Kingdom and Hui Jun from MCMD. I know Sammy knows that one. And Yoon from Donkeys. We talked about Donkeys. I talked about Donkeys when I did Underrated. Anyway, Moonbin.
It's my boy.
Yeah.
Bin.
I was trying to remember, and I can't remember what made me like Moonbin from the very beginning.
He's beautiful.
It wasn't that. I only noticed Moonbin, of course, when he did that 24 Hours cover, and he's
when he turned, and you could see the roundness of his. I'm just talking about something else.
That all came.
You know what?
That was just a bonus. That's not why Suey liked him, but that was just a bonus, wasn't it?
That was after.
It just happens to be there.
He was already biased before when that stuff.
It's like apples. Everybody loves apples.
I don't like apples.
We're going to move on to
Toya.
So anyway, does that give you some? I hope that gives you some.
Go with it.
Good.
I mean, for what it's worth, I'm allergic to apples, so.
Well,
Trish, tell us about your biases. Tell us.
Okay.
I'm allergic to pears too.
Oh my God.
Mira's non-fruit.
I don't know about that.
Well, I sort of keep my what I call alt biases are really small, and for the longest time it was only one person, because like to me alt was like alt, you know.
Yeah.
And that was Onu from Shiny, and then along came Yuto from Pentagon, and went, oh, hang on a second, I must have co-alt here. But yeah, it's like Onu became my alt before I ever knew what he even looked like. I heard his voice and I was like blown away.
Yeah.
I'm just like, to me, he has the best voice in all of K-pop, and nobody's going to change my mind.
And it's very unique as well.
Yeah, I love his voice. And then, you know, as I got to know more about him, he's kind of the quiet one of Shiny, and he's the leader, and I tend to I bias a lot of leaders of groups too. Maybe that's the oldest child in me coming out. But I like it. He's very sweet, and it's like even his vocals go well beyond K-pop. It's like if you have never seen like his performance of Nessun Dorma or Rainy Blue, go watch those because they are phenomenal. Literally no matter how many times I watched that Nessun Dorma performance, I get chills every time I watch it. It's so good.
Wow.
And then Yuto is just, I mean, he's not a vocalist, he's a rapper, but I just love his personality. He's so fun and kind of goofy, and just I don't know. There's just something about his personality that just. And I mean, let's just be honest, he's gorgeous too. But so, and especially now he's got that long hair, and it's just hello.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the only two I consider alts. Now there are some that are just right below that who just kind of want to be alts, but I'm just like, no, stay in your lane. But and that's people like Sangyeon and Sunu from The Boys, Zuho from SF9. Like I have 3 alt groups.
We'll be talking about SF9.
Yes, we will be talking about SF9 tomorrow night. We're surprised. I'm surprised I'm even on this live stream because their performance about did me in this week. But anyway,
that's another show.
That's another show. So and then there's I had another. I have 3 alt groups, and is the first one was SF9, and then I added Shiny and Pentagon. Those are my 3 alt groups. But then, you know, again, I have the ones that are like right below that, and it's like The Boys, and really The Boys kind of jumped in there after Road to Kingdom last year. So I just, and they're another one where like you could easily bias the whole group, because they're all awesome. Let's see. But yeah, like what we said earlier, biases are just, favorite members, ones that just sort of, whether it's their talent or their personality or some sort of combination of the two, that's kind of how I pick them. And there have been some groups where for a long time I'm like, I can't pick a bias, or I'm just going to bias the whole group. And I mean, Wavy is the one where like for a long time I was like, I'm just not going to have a bias or a couple of biases in this group. It's just going to be the whole thing. And then one day I realized it was Xiaojun. But anyway,
sometimes they just say, "Here I am."
Yeah, and I mean, I love the rest of them and stuff. Like Yang Yang is really funny, but there's a ton of just really good vocalists that I tend to bias, and it's like Onu, Sangyeon, Yoon from Winter, Taeil from NCT, Xiaojun, Baekhyun, Junkei from 2PM, Kian from Monsta X, Daewoo from AB6, Eunkwang from BTB, and then this will make Sui happy. I think Kiho from P1 Harmony is going to end up being on that list too.
His voice is amazing.
His voice is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's very distinctive when you're listening to P1 Harmony. You're like, that's Kiho, and that's Kiho.
Yep. The leader.
That's a pretty
He is
good
leader.
too.
Yeah.
I see another leader, but anyway. So I don't know. Number
bias at first sight.
Bias at first sight. I'm trying to think if there's anybody like first listen. Yes, but I don't know if they're
right. Yeah, so right away, Onu was one of those because it was like,
immediately, And I wish I could remember definitely what song it was. I think it might have been Ayo, but I'm not certain on that because it's been like 3 years now. As far as like keeping biases, it's like I can only think of one instance where my initial bias has changed in a group. And I won't say who the original one was, but my bias in Monsta X changed when I saw them live. It's Kian now, and he just blew me away with his vocals. And it's like I love all of them. It's like, and I was fortunate enough I got to see them when Wonho was still in the group too. So they were all fabulous. But there was just something about watching Kian live. There's just like, okay, I'm evidently switching now.
I've added biases after seeing them live. People live. I typically, most of the time, I have at least two in a group. I mean, there are some groups where there's just one, but usually it's at least two. And a lot of the time, I will like learning more about the people. Like I watch a lot of Weekly Idol and stuff where you get to see them in interviews and their kind of their personalities when they're playing games and stuff. And it's like, and that kind of helps, determine who they are. Let's see. What did I miss? I think you just about covered it.
Okay.
Moving on. We'll move on to Brooke.
Hello.
Hello.
So I thought I had a lot of issues with kind of trying to figure out what I was going to say for this because I'm like Mike. I don't really have faults. I just bias. And that's really the line. I would say kind of, if I had to choose, it would probably just be TOP. He was my first bias. He's always going to be that one to me. But
stop it, Mike.
Excellent choice.
Right. But beyond that, quite often I will have more than one bias in groups. Like Sang and Mingi from ATEEZ, or Bang Chan and Felix from Stray Kids. For the longest time, I couldn't choose between Jinjin and Aki for Astro until recently, and I chose the album I bought because of Jinjin, so I figured that answered that question. But most of the time, I don't make a decision very easily. And and typically I choose my biases when I first watch MVs. Kind of like how Sui was talking about, whoever stands out to me first, and then I go on to try and learn more. Sometimes it'll change, but most of the time it stays the same. I typically pick out rappers.
Do you keep the initial when you change, or do you dump one?
Oh no, I keep them both. I collect them. I tend to pick out rappers or like members with unique voices more often, unique voices or faces. And then sometimes it's like right at first sight, like I know T.O.P. First time I saw him, I was like, there's something about him. More recently, the first person this has happened to, I think Frankie saw it happen in one of her name learning videos, was with T1419. As soon as I saw Kyo, I was like, him, the baby.
Yeah.
I love the baby.
Adorable. He's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
He's so cute.
Yeah, and that's the first time, because I'm so young, that's the first time I've ever felt like baby when I've seen
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I just turned 21, so it's like for most people, I would still be the baby. So
you are the baby.
Kind of like,
you're the baby of this show. She's
never put baby in a corner.
But yeah, it's like I do change biases, but typically it's I either stay with the one that I first picked out, or I just keep adding on until I just bias the entire group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just it's really hard to dump anyone. They're all so amazing and hardworking and gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mike.
I think you can see.
I can see.
I was just gonna say, I think
you got behind you.
My bias in Monster X is Juhan. I got Honeygum.
Mm-hmm. So cute.
Mike.
All right. I don't believe in alts. I really, really don't. I know y'all think I have my ultimate bias. I'm a Jaehyun. I do love Jaehyun. I do, but he's not my alt. And I love Lee Teok. He's my husband, but that's besides the point. There is a difference. I mean, are you going to, marry all of these men? No.
If allowed, yes.
I have this weird tendency to bias in pairs. It's like NCT 127. It's not just Jaehyun. I'm a Johnny guy. I love Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you know what? And it's just how it works for me. I'm
pretty boy line.
Oh, Johnny is more than just a pretty boy. But
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just observations we're making, Mike.
Oh, of course.
And he speaks English so well.
He does speak English. It's like he's from America or Chicago. He grew up like
Johnny from 15
Chicago. minutes from me. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I tend to bias in pairs. So like Victon, I would say it's Subin and maybe no, it's just Subin. Just Subin. Astro is Moonbin and Sehun. Not Sehun. Sana. I'm on Sehun right now. Sehun and Suho from EXO. So and I look for when I bias too. I bias for comfort sometimes because the personality is very like it stands out and I know that it annoyed somebody on Twitter because I said Sehun was my comfort idol, and I know there's like connotations to it, but like he's just got a really beautiful personality. He's a little mischievous, and he's like sweet, and that's why I like Subin too, is because it's just like a sweet personality. But yeah, that's what
You
I
have
do.
a comfort idol. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's dodgy about that?
Well, you know, people have words about
Oh,
the
my
use
God.
of comfort in
comfort
Like a
women,
comfort
right?
woman.
yeah,
like a comfort
Oh,
woman.
see,
Yeah,
that's not
make
a-
sure it's not.
but it has nothing
not
to
a
do with
term we
prostitution.
use.
You know what I mean? But anyway, it's like truly like a blanket. Like, you know, that's how it makes you feel. But like Trish, when we listen to like Anu, you're just like your brain just, you know, you get the sound. For Shiny, I don't have a bias. I bias the entire group, and I've never picked out one from the other. You know, there's something about each of them that, you know, that I like more. Like, you know, Minho, you want to see him shirtless. You know, everybody does.
Correct.
But that's how I bias. I don't have alts. I know. I can't do it. I can't put a king on a throne. I want to just have them all. And maybe I'm just greedy. Okay.
And yes,
I keep everybody, so I don't kick them off. They stay on the list. I dust them off the shelf. Like Eric Munn comes down every once in a while, and I say hello, even though he got married and broke my heart, you know. But oh well, you know.
Hey, I'm that way with Taeyeon, so.
Go ahead.
Mike's done.
I'm done.
He's out. I would say that I have alts, but they kind of rotate. So, like who my alts were back in 2016, 2017, they're not all necessarily like they're all still my biases of their group.
I see the king is there again.
Oh my God, Bobby!
Bobby.
They're not all. Okay, Bobby.
I want to talk about Bobby real quick because I just realized Bobby was a bias. Oh, anyway, go ahead, Amanda. Go ahead.
So, for me, it's like biases and alt biases are like it's like a Venn diagram, like circles, right? And sometimes they overlap, and sometimes they don't, and some, you know. So, to me, who I would consider an alt bias is the person who the biases that I want to know more about, that I want to follow their socials, that I want to participate in the birthday, you know, special stuff that, you know, some fan group is putting together or whatever, that I care enough that I want to be involved in that. I would consider those my alts. Right now, probably my only alt is PH1. But like I love all of these boys. Like they're all my sons, and I love them very dearly. Yeah. So on the podcast, we've joked a couple of times that I have like basically two biases. I have grandpa rappers, and I have like giant dancers with the voice of angels. So my giant dancers with voices of angels would be like Yunho from AT, Sonu from Monsta X, and my grandpa rappers are like Top and Suga and PH1, and they're just, they got no energy for that. I got no time today, but also a 6 flow that I love. So like that's kind of where my alt biases sit. I tend to bias. I came into K-pop through K-dramas. I tend to bias like the actors. So if I meet them first through a drama before I even really realize or look into their group at all, it's gonna be, so like for Shiny, it's Key because I knew Key as an actor before anything else. But also, if I love their solo work, I'm way more, I love Shiny, but I'm way more into Key's solo work than I am into Shiny's music in general. So that puts Key on my bias. Same thing with Bobby. I'm more into Bobby's solo work than I am into Icon. I like Icon, but Bobby's solo work is where it's at for me. So that tends to be kind of that, And Canadians, if they're Canadian, they automatically
Markley.
Is it Kehoe? Isn't he Canadian too?
I was just going to say, I think
yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
like,
Yep, Kehoe is Canadian.
It's just you got to support the hometown boys. So
wasn't one of the Velvets?
One more.
Didn't one of the Velvets live in Canada?
Wendy, Henry. Henry's from Canada.
Yeah, Henry's Canadian. Yep.
Exactly.
Oh, Henry is beautiful too.
Jacob and Kevin from the boys.
Hometown crowd. So that's you gotta cheer for the home team.
Oh yeah, Jacob.
So
and Kevin.
I love that.
And Kevin.
Yeah, I tend to. I don't know. For me, multiple biases in a group. If there is more than 5 kids in a group, then there's automatically 2 biases. That's the rule. Like I don't make the rules. I just
there are formulas.
Them.
There are.
Like,
right.
I agree.
What can you do? So, and I agree too about concerts. Like I always thought, like Shonu's my bias in Monster X, and then I am sort of my like wrecker. And then I went to the concert, and Minhyuk was like, "Hi, I'm the dark horse." Like
that damn boy.
And you were like, "What? You were not even on my radar, kid." Like, stop.
I love Minhyuk's voice, though. I mean, it's not necessarily a bias, but I do love his voice.
That damn boy.
His personality is ridiculous, and he's so good in concert. Like he's just so fun and cheeky.
Cheeky.
Exactly.
You know that special stage. You know that special stage that Kian, Hyungwon, and Minhyuk did together at the concert?
Yeah.
That blew me away.
Oh my
God. Good. So good.
And then sexy.
And Shonu and Wonho's like stage that they did too. Like so good. That was such a good concert.
It was.
It was so good. So yeah, like I don't have a lot of like double biases, and I don't usually switch bias. Like once I've got a bias, they're my bias. Sometimes I don't watch a lot of music videos. So sometimes I think my bias is one person, and then I watch the music video, I'm like, oh, that is not who is singing that part, or that is not who is rapping that part. Turns out my bias is not that person at all. So like, okay then. So it's not really like switching the bias. It's more like having a moment of clarity and realizing.
Do you know what's funny? I found funny with I won't bias someone till way down the line to go back and watch their old music videos, because there's a couple of biases there's a couple that are alts now that I didn't even notice in the original. Like I won't say who they are because that's coming up later. But I go, oh shit, where was he in their debut? And then I'll go back and go, oh, there he is. Like why didn't I notice him before?
Like,
because he wasn't blonde and I'm a blonde.
We did a whole, we did an episode on the podcast about 80s, and I hadn't really delved very deep into them before that. And so I'm watching the music video, I'm listening to their songs, and like nothing's really jumping out at me voice-wise or whatever. But then I'm watching the video and I cannot take my eyes off of Yunho and his dancing. Like, I'm just like, this is the kid. And then he sings and I'm like, okay, that's the one. There he is. Yeah. So, and I'm happy because initially it didn't seem like he had a large fan group amongst, so he was always in the back, and it was like you were trying to like watch around the corner of fan cams and stuff to see him, and now he's got his own fan cams and stuff, so that's wonderful. Yeah. So it's nice that way. And generally, if I'm not that into them, probably the one that I will catch my attention first is like the deep voice rapper, the fast rapper. Like I tend to bias rappers more than anything else. And then if they're a band, it's the bass player. It's always the bass player.
Drummers. I always go for drummers in real life and in K-pop.
I mean, okay, my first bias was from CN Blue. So like I kind of, but that was an after bias, right? It wasn't because he was a bass player.
He's so pretty,
an after bias. That's so pretty.
And his dog
so
is so
pretty.
Cute. So like, for me, it's more, like a bias at first sound kind of thing, or first acting job. But yeah, I do find that it's like I'll be listening. I'll be like, "Ooh, I like this one," or I'll see them all talking in a variety show or something. I'm like, "Oh, this is my bias," and then I find out, yeah, they're the bass player. Always, it's I don't know why, but like, I got to type. I guess.
Who else was a bass player? Jonghyun was a bass player.
Okay, we'll move on.
He was scouted as a bass player in his band.
We'll move on to Mira.
Mira.
I wasn't able to submit my alt list because I don't be checking the group chat. So I have 6 alts. It's Kihyun from Monster X, Kibum from Shiny, Jonghyun from Shiny, Boa, Jimin from BTS, and 10 from NCT Wavy. 10. Super M. Clearly, I like the, flashy bitches. You have to be like the shy people. Like, I like the ones who are like, "Hi, I'm here and I have glitter." So,
are you saying they're flamboyant? That's what you're going.
I mean, I like the ones who are like me. Like, I relate to them on a personal level. Okay. Yeah, no, actually, like, it's funny because a lot of my alts are not who my original biases were. My original bias in Monster X was Shonu because he's fine. And
no argument there.
He's still fine.
I found out that Kihyun is the same birthday as me. And I was like, "Ooh, we have the same birthday." And then I heard him sing and I was like, "Ooh, bitch, he is talented." So yeah, there was that. Shiny, I got into Shiny because of Taemin, like solo. So like I was like, "Ooh, Taemin, ooh, Taemin." I saw Shiny and I was like, "Ooh, Jonghyun, ooh, Ki." So they just came and they're like, "We're here." And yeah. And then Boa is my most recent alt.
That's new for you.
I love Boa. She is the only female on my alt list, but she is like the queen. I love her.
She's the empress of it all.
Period. 10. I don't know where 10 came from. I don't know. I don't even stand NCT. Like, he just showed up, and I was like,
he just danced his way in there. That's what happened.
Seriously.
Yeah.
He's like seriously an all-rounder, though. I don't think he's just a dancer. He's an all-rounder.
He just dances.
Like, dreaming a dream.
Yes. Yes. That's how I found him.
Jimin was my first alt, actually. My first bias in BTS was actually RM. And then, I don't know what happened.
Namjoon?
It was like, he was my bias for like a month and a half. And then Jimin was like, "Ha, bitch, psych." And so it's been Jimin ever since. It's been years.
You start with the fine, and then you find the one that's flamboyant or flashy, and you go, "Ooh, I want him instead."
We love shiny stuff. Yeah, so pretty much that's it for me.
So you just add biases when you see another one in a group, or have you ever changed bias, or just adding?
I've changed biases, yeah, actually. Like, I have my little biases, and then I have my alts. Like, I'll say, like, in Monster X, Kihyun is my alt. Like, he transcends Monster X. For me, like, it's like Kihyun and the boys. No, I'm kidding. Don't. I mean, in my head, that's how it be. But you know what I mean. But then it's like Shonu and Juhan kind of battle it out, like in Bias Land. Like, "Ooh, I love them. Oh, they're great. Oh my God, rap some more." You know what I mean? So,
do your thing. Come on, perform.
Yes, keep being great. Like, I'm loving this. This is wonderful.
One more button, make me happy. Okay.
Right?
And
like,
Mira, you have a Monster X podcast now, don't you?
I do.
What's that
I
called?
just
Tell me
started it last month in April. Yeah. April.
Okay, I think I've got the link to that. The link to that should be in the description after this gets uploaded. So if you're interested,
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at the XCastPod.
Cool. Okay, Sammy.
I've got a few things to say, just on this discussion. So that traffic clip that you keep playing, Frankie, that's a lot less anxiety inducing than being in K-pop, just saying. And it's been really interesting to hear different opinions as well, like co-biases. I haven't heard of that before, and not believing in alts. Interesting, Mike. So this is a really important topic for me, actually, because this is how my journey really started. If any of you can remember my original Inception story, I was introduced into EXO, watched a few of their stuff, and I had my YouTube just on autoplay, just in the background, and I wasn't really paying attention, and then I saw this. I was like, oh my God, that
pretty boy,
that hair, holy crap, who is that?
I'm going to show all your.
Yeah, that's all right.
While we're here. That's all your arms, right?
Oh my.
I see.
Yeah.
We're going for that, are we, huh?
Oh yeah.
Wow. That was wow.
You know,
the tiny one.
So Dongwoo is my original alt, and I fell into Infinite that way. So the way I would define an alt now is I only have one other, and that's Castle J from MC&D. And I think the definition for me is that I love them so much. I know that I won't consider any of the others to be my bias from that group, even though I love them so much. Yeah, it's just that surety for me that there's no competition. So yeah, that's how I would decide. And group biases. So more than one in a group, yes. I think actually the group that I have the most in is the little group Into It. And I think all of them have actually been in my bias at some point. So Inpyo, Inho, Hyunwook, Isaac, Yuntae, and then when Jian started to rap, that's just what solidified him for me. So rappers do actually seem to be my type. So we're talking Soyeon from G-Idol, Castle J, Dongwoo is rapper as well, and my journey with Monster X is pretty funny as well. So just another day when I had SBS Pop Asia on in the background for any Aussies who could be watching. This was back when it was on TV. And I saw, what's the Monster X music video with the Wonho shirtless, and he's like...
Fighter?
Name it.
Fighter, of course, that's right. I couldn't remember. So I just looked up, right. So I just looked up and I saw him and I was like, holy crap. And I watched the whole music video wanting to see that again, and it did not happen. And I was so offended, I refused to go and discover anything about that group. I was like, I don't know who they are, but that was just so rude. I eventually saw them again, and so he was my original bias. And then Youngwon, because he's so pretty. But when I watched No Mercy and I saw Changhyun come in and not be liked by anyone, and he's all sad and lonely, I was like, oh my God. So it's really funny how you sort of go through a journey with a group, and you have these moments that's just like, okay, forget everything in the past, like you're absolute my favorite, my baby. so yes. Do you change biases?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, just on rare occasions. I think, you know, there has to be sort of, you know, big reasons as to why. So, you know, that's just a great example with Monster X. And actually back to rappers as well. So I only just recently discovered Only One Off. You know, I've seen bits and pieces, but of course, when they had their latest comeback, I paid a lot of attention to them. And so
everybody.
And I just made a GIF of the moment when I discovered my bias. Hopefully it comes out okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
that is my favorite part of the song. When his rap comes in, it's so sexy and so
right. It's so good. Yeah,
so good.
And it's interesting when they first started coming out with all the teasers and stuff for this era, and like Mill's hair was really short. I didn't know how I felt about it at first, but then like by the end of it, I was like, "This is the most fabulous hair ever."
It's amazing, and it was really jarring as well, because I was like, okay, I need to see more of him, and I go to, you know, like Google Images, and I'm like, who the hell is this? That can't be him.
And all the red hair.
Yeah, all of the different coloured hairs. And, oh god!
When I first saw Sagen from Victon, he had the really short hair in Mayday.
Yes.
And I just kept calling the one with him. He wasn't my bias, but I'm going, who's the one with the face? Who's the one with the face? Who's the one with the face? But I hadn't recognised him because he's completely different. That's the shortest hair he's ever had, and he looks so different. But it was still his face just was like.
It's
and
like,
so then I looked him up, totally different.
It's like Aaron from New East from
you
know, the previous one where he had the really short white hair, and now it's like completely different,
like mullety.
Yeah.
So okay, I love his look. Yeah.
All right, Toya.
All right. So I have one alt. I built my kind of bias structure like a pyramid. So you have like the big base, and you keep going up, you keep going up, you keep going up, you keep going up. And that is, of course, Baekhyun. My love, my everything, my man in the military right now. Sorry. Okay, I'm better. So
photos are cute though.
They are. He's probably the life of the party in basic. You know, and I wouldn't expect him to be any less. Even though Dio is the voice that got me into EXO, it was really listening to Baekhyun in El Dorado that I was like, geez, mercy, what is we're going there with that? No. And then we're gonna go higher the next time. Well, damn. So, and then I started watching, you know, EXO Showtime, and watching him and Dio together. I'm gonna miss that so much, since Dio is back, and Dio is kind of his. If you don't sit your ass down and calm yourself down right now, because Dio has the eye dagger of death.
Listen, Toya, my heart.
I'm gonna miss that so much now that Dio's out and Beck's in. But yeah, for me, I only have one ult. He is it. Just like EXO is my ult group. They are my everything. I will drop everything for them. For me, there's no one else who can be on their level. So I'm just kind of like, okay, here we go. But I think I probably have like the most unique bias categories. I mean, I do have records. There are some people I pay attention to, but I kind of group mine in categories. Like I have age appropriate biases. Donghae is my age appropriate bias because he is over 30 and he fine. Same with Taecyeon. You know, he is my man piece. I put him on Twitter as my man piece. Even though he's dating someone, it's okay. They're not married. He's my man piece. You know, as long as there's no ring, you are still available. So until he proposes to that girl, and I'll be very happy when that happens because I always want my idols to find love. And then I have kind of some off categories. Like there's just some biases I want to take care of. Like, I just want to make sure that, you know, they sleep well and that they eat and that they're getting good rest and that they're being taken care of and they're taking care of themselves and they're just having a good time up there singing, dancing, rapping, doing whatever they want to do. So that list includes like Jackson, because I don't think that man sleeps. I just don't. I'm like, how do you do this? I'm like, how do you?
For sure.
I'm like, my God, dude. I'm like, do you sleep? Do you eat? I'm like, what is it? Do you go into a hyperbaric chamber that's like 15 minutes is 5 hours of sleep? Because you come out. I'm like, maybe you'd give us like a 5-minute song one of these days. But if we could. PH1 is one of my I want to take care of you biases. He's just so precious to me. I'm like, oh my God. When he wrote about that Popeyes in Korea doesn't hit like Popeyes in America, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go right down the street, get you a 2-piece. I'm gonna fly it over there and be like, here you go, baby. Eat this. Here you go. I was gonna give you this, and you're gonna have this meal. I gotta go now. So Henry's like that. I started watching him on I Live Alone, and he is just so clueless, so musically talented, but so clueless in everything else. And I'm like, my God, how can you be so insanely talented and just be like, I don't know which way I'm going. They said it was going to rain, but I didn't really think it was going to rain. So I didn't bring an umbrella. And now I'm out here biking by the Han River without an umbrella. Really? You didn't pay attention. Juno from 2 p.m. is like that. Like, the peach. Bobby is my latest I want to take care of you bias,
Right, Bobby? Everybody loves Bobby.
After Kingdom is done, I'm flying him back here. Falls Church is about 20 minutes from me. He lived over here. It's the same. It's close. I'm bringing him back. Just want to let y'all know that now. I'll take him back for Icon and solo stuff, but he's going to be here because,
we
Virginia
need
is
Bobby
the area.
in our lives.
Just say it.
Coming for visit.
I mean, just come on. And so two of my new female biases, Ning Ning and from Espa and Onda from Everglow. They're precious. They're cute. I love them. And I just want to squeeze them. I just want to be like, are you ladies okay? Is everybody treating you all right? Are any of these nasty old men coming after you? Because we'll have words. Onda, glad you got some lines. Finally, baby, I'm so happy for you. And then my two most disrespectful categories. The first one is the boy sit your ass down category. Originally, that started as boy stop, and it started with Kai because I'm like, I'm not paying attention to you. I am not paying attention. I am not. Boy, if you don't sit down. Boy, sit your ass down. And I mean it. Stop it. Exactly. I'm like, get out the way, Cap, move, go. So he started that whole thing. Bam Bam is another one. I'm like, I'm really not paying attention to you. I am paying attention to my sexy nerd Jin-Young. And I'm like, why is this red hair here, Bam Bam? You know I love red hair. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you trying to look all good and now you got white hair? And I'm just, hey. Wow. Beijing Young from CIX is like that. I'm like, I'm not even, I don't even have a bias in that group, but every time I see him, I'm like, go somewhere else and do whatever you need to do, but don't do that here. Don't not in my sphere, not in my house. I don't need that. Minhyun from Newest is becoming like that. I'm like, I didn't know 101, and I started liking Newest when it was Newest W. So I didn't know Minhyun existed. So I was like, oh, okay, this is great. And then when I found out what the W stood for, I was like, oh, there's another member that's gone. Okay, that's cool. And then he came back and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm listening to Becco's notes and I'm not here for this. I am not here for you. I am not here for your pretty face. I'm not here for your stunning angelic vocals. I'm not here for you. I'm really not, but I am. And that's how that became Voice to Jazz Down. And then, of course, I am the owner of a wonderful island named Noteville, where all disrespectful goes. All disrespectful idols go.
Crowded.
All the time. It's crowded. And it is expanding every day. Got7 has their own cul-de-sac because I just decided to put all them mofos there. I was like, you know what? I was like, all of y'all. I was like, Young Jay, you two, sing your high notes in your house because this is not happening here. Yeah, no. Astro has an entire avenue. I locked Moonbin away. After that last video, I locked him away because I was like, you are in timeout. I was like, and don't come back until you can figure out how to behave.
Right.
I don't know how that's going to happen because he doesn't listen to me anyway. Kai is the mayor of Noteville, obviously. Minyuk is deputy mayor because he don't listen to a damn thing I said. I'm like, leather, black hair. What is all what is all these teasers about? What the hell is this? Crotch shots?
Which are you talking about?
The Minyuk from Monster X. All those teasers are just damn disrespectful. All of them. Lee Tuck is mayor emeritus because he never met a shirt he liked. I'm like, God,
him and shirts, they don't get along very well. He's got that rash that comes up.
God, like you want to talk shirt? Him and Taeyong. I'm like, my God, like, do y'all wear shirts? Do you know what shirts are like? Like, do you know they're a piece of clothing?
It's the great K-pop shirt allergy.
Shirt allergy that runs.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like, my God, man, like this doesn't exist in your world. It's always there. Miss Poetic is warden of Timeout Tower. So if there is a particular idol who is being completely disrespectful, whether it's selfies, dance covers, voice covers, whatever, and it just, happens to come out there, yeah, she's like, come here, sit, you get fed, you get to go to sleep, you get some rest, and think about your actions. You get to reflect on what you have done to be disrespectful. And then when you could come out and play nice, which they never do, because I mean, God, that's not their job. They try to be repentant and they try to go, oh yeah, I'm gonna be good this time, I'm gonna be good this time. And then next teaser comes and bam, like shirtless, abs, hair.
You get sand going, it's okay.
Whatever.
It's okay, right?
But as far as changing biases, I'll drop them in a heartbeat. I mean, there's a lot of love to go. Schumann was my first EXO bias because he just looked like a kitty cat and I loved him. And then Baekhyun decided to be loud and scream in my ear a lot. And I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. But however, Schumann's trying to get his place back in since it's not really cheating since Baekhyun's in the military. So, I mean, what he doesn't know won't hurt him. I mean, I figure, hey, he's not around. So yeah, something like that. I'm just saying. As far as like multiple biases per group, I mean, I guess that's where the thing for bias record for me is. Like in EXO, I have, Baekhyun, but then I also have Sehun. I just have a soft spot for him. Being a rainbow haired little boy, and now he's a grown man. And I'm like, Suho raised you so well. You are such a nice,
such a sweet boy.
Yeah, and I'm like, and once again, in the soft spot. So one is it's Leto is my bias, but then any member on any given day, there is a fight to the death, any comeback to take that bias record spot. I just let them have at it, and then somebody will just come, and I'll be like, okay, come back. You are now the bias record. I mean, nobody can beat Leto. Nobody's beating my baby Prince of the Dark. But yeah, I just let them battle it out and figure it out themselves. And I go, okay, I'm not going to stop you. Have a good time. This is what you want to do to catch my attention. I'm not going to stop you from looking good. So that is how I figure out I just have fun with it because I think K-pop should be fun. It's something to laugh about, it's something to be like, I like him and I like him and her and him and her. And you know what? I'm just going to take all of you. I'm going to take all of you and I'm going to love you and squeeze you and call you George. And just have a good time. Cause why not? I mean,
segue into the group discussion, actually. What are solo stands? People who only support, and that's not bias. People, and I see on Twitter some people getting confused that there's some real hardcore, you can't have a biased person out there because you're a solo stan, which you're not. But there are solo stans who will only support one member of the group. How does that work?
Understand that.
How do you
either?
I don't understand it if you're a fan of the group. Like if you
Yeah.
say you're a fan of the group, like for me, I wouldn't call myself necessarily like an iconic. I'm a fan of Bobby's solo work, but I like Icon. Like I think they're fine, right? But I wouldn't call myself a solo stan of Bobby within iconic. Like I wouldn't say, yeah, I'm iconic, but I only like Bobby. Like that,
Bobby.
no,
Right.
that doesn't fly.
That's
Either
kind of
you're
weird
iconic
too.
or you're not. Like
some people are very militant and kind of toxic about their solo standum.
Yes.
And that's what I don't understand.
No.
I have a big problem with XOLs about that because they get vicious.
Say that.
Well, this person got a
Say
solo,
that.
and that person got a solo, and this person and my member hasn't got a solo, and they didn't want to do this Super M thing, and this and that. I'm like,
oh my god,
Like they know
You know
what they're
what?
thinking.
I'm
It's like, are you a
come
mind
on.
reader?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're they have contracts, and whether they want to do it or not, they have to abide by those contracts. I mean, whether
They don't
they're
have a clue what
Right.
conversations happen inside the SM building, inside dorms.
Yep.
They don't know. They're just making this stuff up to fit what they
And the
want to
Super M
believe.
kids seem to be having fun. Like they seem to be
Yes.
enjoying
Oh,
it. It's
yeah.
something different that they
Absolutely.
get to do, right?
And they got
I mean-
paid. Money
Right.
is a wonderful
They
thing,
got
you know.
paid. Hey.
and they got to go on tour, and Kai and
Right.
Taemin are best friends in a group together. I mean, my
Well,
God, what's the problem?
Taemin always wanted to go to the U.S. Come on, there you go. He was in the U.S.
I
Give him what he wants.
I want to point out the fact that there's a big difference between solo stands and akes. Like,
Yeah.
like there's solo stands that there's a lot of idols that have solo careers.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
you have the
Yeah,
Taemins
it's
and the
different.
Wonhos and the Jonghyuns and the
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course they're gonna come and they're gonna say like, I stand this person as a soloist. Cool.
yeah.
Do you? Like I got it. I
Right.
got into Shiny because I was a Taemin solo stan because I got into his solo music first.
Mhm.
But not everybody gets to that point, or not
Right.
everybody listens to Shiny and they're like, "Oh wow, I love this."
Mhm.
But also, akes are the people who support one member and hate everybody else.
Yes.
Like they're
Yeah.
the
That's
people
the thing.
who,
They hate.
That's more what I'm with. Yeah,
like
we're
people
talking
have
about.
pointed out in the YouTube chat, like there's people who show up to the fan signs and be rude to everybody but the one
Yes.
person that they stand, and
That's
that's where it's
Not on.
no.
That's the line crossing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
you can be a fan, like especially because a lot of them, when they do their solo work, they're doing something completely different than what they do as a
Right.
member of the group.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like a lot of the rappers, when they do their mixtapes and stuff, it sounds nothing like their group does.
Mhm.
And like if you're really into that, it's okay that you're not into what the group does. Like that's
Mhm.
all right. You don't have to like everything,
Mhm.
but don't hate them. Like you don't like wish for like BTS to break up because you're so into August D. Like
Right.
no, stop.
And I've
That's
seen
how this
that.
works.
I've seen it. I've
For real.
seen that. Yeah, August Sugar would be so much better off without BTS. I've seen that said on Twitter. Like, what is that? You know what I
But
mean?
it's like you wouldn't know him outside of, yes, he could have had a solo career, but you wouldn't have known him unless he had been in the group in the first damn place. I mean,
Yeah, because for those people who are so into that, it's like, okay, so name me 5 indie Korean rappers right now. Just go for that. Tell me 5.
that part.
I just want to, right? You don't know them, so like,
Mhm.
don't tell me that he would have had this amazing career without BTS. Stop that.
Mhm.
Stop.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
Right.
like I think I think it was Toya who said it. Like, don't say you're a fan of the group while being a solo stan. Like, I'm sorry, I feel like
Exactly.
if you
How?
go to a Shiny concert, like I'm saying Shiny because they're my alts, obviously.
Yeah.
If
Right.
you go to a
Okay.
Shiny
Mhm.
concert and you're a Taemin solo stan, like, be honest with yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's different from going to a Taemin solo concert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you at least be respectful.
Right.
Be-
And you've
sure.
already given them your
For
money
sure.
at that point.
Right.
I guess.
At the very least,
Mike,
you are being disrespectful to the person you love, like best friends or
Right.
Yeah.
or
Right.
family. Like depends on how close they are, but like don't go and be nasty. Like if if you're dating somebody, you don't go into their home and like be rude to their family. Like
Right.
that's not cool. So like chill out, and you're not dating these people. I'm just gonna point that out. You're not, you're not
Never
dating
will.
your biased teenagers.
Right.
Like,
You only like their mom, one sister, a cousin over here, and the rest of the family can take a big leap.
Never in your life.
No. That relationship is not going to last very long.
Right.
No.
Like
only like certain of your family. What? Wait, huh?
What? Yeah.
Okay. On that note, we are actually going to move on. I think this has been a great discussion. I've actually really loved talking about biases, and I've loved seeing everyone's comments in the chat. But guys,
I know they've been awesome. They really have
something
been.
better. There's something better coming up. Right. I know you've all been looking forward to this. Now
let me stretch. Hold on.
Finish my wine.
Mike finishes his wine.
We've heard about your biases, and look, just tell me, can you hear this music?
Hear what?
No.
I feel like it's supposed to be that dog whistle.
Yeah.
That's a K-pop whistle.
I don't know why. I haven't been able to get my music to work on
Or those hearing tests where you're supposed to hear like left ear, right ear.
Wait, was it that weird?
Right.
Like there's
Like,
kind of
now
a
I wanna
sound
listen to that
noise
song.
or something.
I just heard like a really
Left,
delayed,
right,
creepy
left
sound.
hand, right,
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like a
left hand, left hand, left hand.
Like
No,
howling, like
Sammy,
wind
I'm
howling.
probably going to be playing that right now.
I'm so mad. My roadcaster just won't work. It's really giving me the shits. Okay, but look, we've been talking about your biases. Did you notice I really didn't talk much about my biases?
Yeah, we
know.
Spill the
No, I
tea,
didn't.
Frankie.
You mean like
this is our
Geno?
quiz. Our quiz is on your
How
biases.
does Frankie
oh, nice. Not gonna embarrass us.
bias?
Nice.
Every answer is top. Even if he's not in there.
Sorry, that sound was me. I have a
You mean Geno,
alarm near my
Jay,
house.
Geno is not her bias, right?
You're just giving away answers now.
Geno is
Now,
not
how this
her
is going to work?
bias.
Okay,
Tell
now how
us.
this is going to work is, if you're actually currently in the YouTube chat, please exit the YouTube chat. I've made it so you can't see the comments on screen. That's the panel, that is. Okay, we're going to see how well you know my biases. Now, this is one of those games where you just yell out your name and I'll call on you. And if you get it wrong, you'll know because it'll pop up on the screen. And then someone else can have a go and so on. And the points will add up. I love this app. It's fantastic. So, and don't call out the well, I mean, you can call out before the options show up, but it's multi-choice. So, I mean, if you want to get in first. Anyway, we're going to start, okay?
Let's go.
See.
I'm so
Let's
bad
go.
at these games.
Who was my first NCT bias?
Oh.
Miguel.
Damn.
Sorry, was that you, Mike?
Jaehyun.
Hang on. Can you call out your name first?
Mike called his name
Mike.
first.
Oh, Mike.
But he
Jaehyun.
said Miguel because he's annoying. Just kidding. I love you, Mike.
Ding dong, wrong.
Cierra la boca, mira.
It's
Yo no
Toya.
necesito.
Toya, yes,
It's-
Toya.
I'm gonna
Hey,
go with
Toya.
Taeyong.
Yes, Toya.
Thank you.
Get 75 points. Okay.
Geno would have been the trick answer.
Yeah, Geno would have
That's her son. That's her
I
son-in-law.
would have been like, what?
Who's my second alt?
Oh, I know the answer to this.
Oh, I know the answer to
Trish.
this.
Toya.
Well, it only counts if you call out your name.
Trish.
So I heard Trish was the first one I heard. Yes?
Jackson.
Bing bong.
Yeah, I knew that one too.
Yeah, knew that one.
Oh.
Okay. Remember to call out your name, not the answer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Amanda.
I
Amanda?
Oh.
Joo-hyun.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
also my bias. She has taste.
Okay.
Oh.
Trish.
Mike.
Yes, Trish?
Mingy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh. Look at Trish on a roll.
120.
Mike.
Yeah.
3.
Correct. Can you name them?
For
extra, well, no extra points, but
no extra. It's going to be Jaehyun, Jeno, and
no NCT 127.
Oh, it's just 127.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's Yuta, Jaehyun, and gosh,
I added a new one recently. It was Johnny.
Mark is there?
Johnny.
Oh, Johnny, yeah, Johnny.
Sorry,
Morley.
Pretty boy line.
And they are pretty. I'm not gonna lie,
Trish.
they are very pretty.
Yes, Trish.
Jion.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
It must be butter because Trish is on
Eric.
a roll.
Let's not lie, Eric.
It depends who listens to me crap on more on Twitter.
Eric,
Yeah, I don't listen.
adorable.
Oh,
What order did I collect my SF9 biases?
Eric has really nice nipples, just so you know.
Oh my god.
Trish.
Can we see?
C.
Yes, Trish.
Trish knows Frankie's dad.
Trish knows.
Good Lord. Oh wow.
Mike.
Who did I add after
Brooke.
Wonderland?
Oh, Mike,
Mike.
said his
Brooke?
name.
Brooke.
Mike
Sorry,
said
Brooke?
his.
Oh,
no,
Mike.
I think Mike was before me.
Okay, Mike.
San.
No.
No,
Really?
Mm. Ah.
Oh,
That was my guess too.
oh, yeah. It was. Which one did I
It
put?
was
He
San.
just he
San.
does
You
that.
look San.
He does
No,
that.
Oh, shit.
San is the
it's-
mountain you cannot hide from.
No, no.
I don't even know who my bias is. I think that was supposed to be Songwa.
Oh.
Okay.
You buy someone in before that.
It's like what?
He's
Never
he's
San.
beautiful.
I can't
He's
remember.
a
I was
beautiful
having a sleep when
man.
I did these. Who was my first Monster X bias? Brooke?
Brooke. On Hope?
Yep.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, I
Correct.
mean,
I think I've done
You like
these
the
wrong.
titties.
the first
Yeah, it wasn't.
throws me off.
I actually,
'cause I'm like, that's from
it was
You like
actually
the
it was
titties.
actually Minyuk. So I
Was
think
it?
I must have actually put these in wrong when I did it. I'm so fucked. Points, Brooke.
And who's drinking the wine?
Wow. When I put the questions in, but when I got to select the winner of the right question, I think I put them in wrong. Who's my golden child bias?
Trish.
Trish?
Why?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Why ask
I wanted
why?
to say something
Okay.
about Golden Child real quick. I'm currently biasing Juchan because he has a golden voice. That's all I gotta say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice voice.
Okay.
I have
Agreed.
no idea who any of these people are.
I know, Mira.
Who's my second
me
ace
there.
bias?
All right, no, I don't know anybody
I
in
know that one.
Ace.
nope.
Trish.
Okay.
Yes, Trish?
Is it Junie?
No.
No, that was a
Trish
guess.
got one
It's
wrong.
Donghyun.
I know.
Trish is fired.
Anyone calling their name out?
Amanda.
Amanda?
Wow.
Yes. Come on, guys. It's
I
not
like WoW too. I don't really have a bias in Ace, though.
I don't
Okay.
either. I don't.
Well, I can't believe I got actually. See, it's so confusing. It's so confusing because I even got my answers wrong. Ultimate biases do I have?
I made the quiz and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Mike.
Trish? Oh,
4.
sorry. Bing bong. Mike.
Yeah.
Mike. 3.
Bing bong.
Mira.
Okay.
God, you're a slut.
Mira.
Hey.
Wrong.
Oh, 6.
Amanda.
Sammy,
That'd be
6.
my guess. Cute.
No, that
Frankie's
not
spreading
giving
herself
anyone any
around.
It's not
Wow.
getting anyone any
Good
points.
girl.
So my
Good
well,
for you.
all right. I'll just wait a minute. I'll
Oh.
just tell you before you. I'll just tell you that's top. Or no, I'll tell you afterwards. Because I might give away another thing. Who are my first wavy biases?
Sammy. A.
Sammy. Yep.
A.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that was going to be my
Hey,
guess
hey, hey.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
Trish.
wow.
Everybody
Trish.
biases Lucas
No,
until they
Trish
find out
came.
how old he is.
Did you not hear
No.
me?
Mike.
Okay.
No.
It's
Sorry,
fine.
Mira. Mira.
I was gonna say C, but
But I won't know.
D.
Oh, you're all
Oh my God, really?
Because remember, I used to
I
say
was going to say B, but no one calls on Mike.
I used to say
Oh,
Tendry was my
wow.
bias.
No, because I feel like if you had ever biased Lucas, he would be in the Geno category. Not my bias.
Yeah, I
my
went.
bias Lucas. Because he's not my bias, Lucas.
Lucas got in with Super M. Hang on, I'm just going to check the private chat.
Lucas is in the boy sit your ass down category. That's where Lucas is.
Right? Yes. Uh-huh.
Who's my Stray Kids bias?
Trish.
Trish?
Brooke.
Han.
Poor Brooke's
Nobody
delayed.
can hear me.
I know.
This is
Well, I
like
heard
the
you,
first
Brooke. It
time
was
I've
just
ever
too
got
late.
points in one of these
It was just too
games.
late.
I'll just stop it.
You gave Trish the
poor
points.
Brooke. Who's
Yeah,
my son and
Trish.
who's my best boy?
Oh.
Oh, golly.
Mike.
Mike?
D.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna
Mingy
say.
is the best boy.
Oh, Mike just got
Mingy's
there
always
first.
been my best boy, and Hong's
Yep.
my son. I
I'm
even
like,
told him to his
Mingy,
face.
I don't know anybody else, but I know Mingy's her best boy. So
Last
Who's
question.
not?
Who is
Trish.
next?
Mike.
Mike.
Hey.
I was going to confuse you with the not
we
Geno.
said it like 7 times.
Lies
already
we
today.
tell ourselves.
Come on.
Trish, the not.
Trish won.
Yay!
The not.
Okay.
Look at me with
That
my
was,
0
that
points.
See, that was much easier when you got
There was
multiple
like
choice.
no
You
tough
got-
Yeah.
question. That's really unfair, I feel.
But
like.
everyone knew that. Everyone knows he's my alt. So that's the thing. That's why. Did you notice I've actually turned my photos all face down in case you saw them?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I have no idea who any of your alts or biases are. Like, I wouldn't have known at all.
Well, can we
Well,
name
top-
them? There's
top-
like
Do you want to know my alt? Yeah, who can name my alts? I got
there's Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson.
Wanho.
Yeah.
Jaehyun.
Yeah.
Ho.
yeah.
Mingy.
No.
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 Mingy.
So we
I'm
got
trying to
Top,
think who's in the
Jackson,
pictures.
Wonho, Juhan, Jaehyun, and San.
Jonghyun?
Son.
Fine.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know
Jaehyun.
you have a Jonghyun picture. That's
He's
it.
just there because
Because he
Jonghyun
exists.
is an angel.
he's just my angel on my shoulder.
He watches over her
second
like
alt?
backyard.
He's and the
When did
devil
you get
is
your-
on the other side. The devil's GD.
But you know what? I
Appropriate.
would say GD is closer to an alt for me than anybody else, but you know, we won't even go there.
He needs to come out with his damn album. I know that.
Oh.
Oh, look, some people taking guesses there. How did you guys go in the comments? Because I couldn't look in the comments. Did you? Yes, I've got 6. I've got 6. Christy, just deal with it.
She's a bit of a slut. It's okay.
Jamie, shut up. Because what happened was this app. I think someone was asking. It's called Trivia Maker, and you can do all sorts of games on there. There's that's why I did the Wheel of K-pop. There's also like a Jeopardy template. So what happened was I put the answers in, but I forgot to click for a couple of them what the correct answer was. So yeah, it doesn't matter because it's only a game.
Oh my God, Frankie, you know what I forgot to say?
What?
I love your pearl aqua nails. I'm living
You
for
said
them.
you said that last time I had the I'm looking to match my hair.
Nice.
So like you just live your life in like shawoldom, like
It's unconscious. It's subconsciously too. It just sort of happens.
it's like it runs through your veins. I feel you. It's like I feel you. It's the same.
I feel like that's like half of Mira's like Twitter feed is like, here is this like lovely, like like shiny aqua, whatever cart for my kitchen, or like,
and the rest of it's just me yelling at Chawo, so it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No big deal.
Okay, look, what we're wrapping up. What is coming up this week in K-pop that we're excited about? I think Joy's got a solo. Has Joy got a from Red Velvet?
Yes,
got a solo
Joy
coming out
has a
this
solo coming out.
Monster X on the
TXT.
first.
Monster X is coming
Monster.
back, baby.
Monster X.
Ghost Nine.
TXT and Ghost Nine.
Mama Moo
TXT,
EXO.
yeah.
Mama
I
Moo.
always like
Mama
a little
Moo.
TXT.
Ghost 9 and
Ghost 9.
N Flying, I think. Anyone else in the comments? Anyone else we've missed?
Shiny's coming back with a Japanese release.
Oh God,
the Japanese release came out.
Yeah, it's already out.
Their Japanese album is dropping.
Oh.
Is Kingdom finale this week, or do we have another week?
No, it's one more week.
Was it
next week's the final?
Kate, who shout out to us all on Twitter, like about that griot, I think it was.
Yes.
Really
yes.
nice. Thank you for that shout out.
Yes,
Kate.
thank you.
Really
Thank you so much.
That heads up, because that was a nice release.
EXO is in June. EXO is in June, I think.
But June is next week.
June is next week.
Oh my God.
It's
like, God, people. I'm expecting me to know dates. Let's see.
June
2nd
or June 1st.
June 1st is Tuesday.
June 1st is Monster X. I think Shiny's coming back. I don't know. With their Japanese release. That's all I really care
June
about.
7th. EXO is coming back on June 7th.
The 7th, yes.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I purchased every single one of those albums. I am so salty that there is not a Lay album.
They're gonna put one out. They wanted to shock us. That's why they didn't do it.
That's what it was.
They wanted
It was
to
a
shock
surprise.
us. They wanted to be like, hey bitches, Lay.
well, you know it's SM, so they will be a repackage. You know
exactly. They'll put them out
and
again.
that repackage will sell.
Yes.
Well,
and it better be more than a flash.
I tried to buy Lit's album and it was sold out in 8 seconds, so I could not buy a single copy of Lit. So
look at that picture of Jonghyun. Look at Jonghyun. Look at Jonghyun.
Isn't he gorgeous?
Oh my God.
Yes,
I just love him. I'm sorry. I'm having a moment.
Okay, guys, we are wrapping up. Look, thank you so much. It was a really fun conversation today. And I'm so happy that some of you actually, that the quiz didn't take an hour this week.
The wheel of misfortune.
To choose from. Don't forget, everyone, tomorrow, so 9 p.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Korean time, we've got Kingdom Debrief. So we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Kingdom. And then at 11 o'clock, 2 hours after Kingdom starts, we actually have Imitation Debrief, where we talk about the series Imitation. So there's a lot of K-pop stars in that, and it takes a look at the dark side of K-pop. So thank you all for being on the show. Thanks to everyone who made comments, and we will see you next week. Next week we're doing a K-drama episode where we're talking about K-drama 101. Some K-drama experts are going to tell some of us K-drama noobs how the whole K-drama thing works. So we'll see you then. Bye.